I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you want to option the 2025 Atlas SEL in pure gray over Titan black leather interior. I'm also going to touch bases with some pros and cons, the problem that I have with the Atlas and the competition. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. Now there is 5 different trims to choose from. All is going to be powered with one power option, which is a turbocharge that increased in horsepower from the prior in 2023, but in 2024 we dropped the VR6 V6 engine, but the towing capacity is the same. All vehicles will have the same 6.7 inches of clearance, even if you're thinking about getting the SE with technology Peak Edition. It's only going to be an off-roadsy look. So the front will be unique for the Peak Edition and the SEL R line. On the SEL, you're going to have 4 horizontal bars that integrate into full adaptive LED headlights and daytime runnings. And going into the SE with technology adds the light bar on the top, as well as the Volkswagen badging that will illuminate. The lower is going to have the satin aluminum with the grille pattern, and it carries on into the air pocket. Underneath the hood has the 2.0 liter inline 4-cylinder that's producing 269 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, paired to an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission, achieving 18 mpgs for the city, 25 mpgs for the highway. And when you go SEL, you're getting 20-inch wheels. The SE with technology Peak Edition gives 18-inch wheels, and going into the base will be an 18-inch wheel. 21-inch wheel will be on the top trim, the SEL Premium R line. The side fenders are going to be the matte black or grayish color, as well as the lower sill. The side view mirror will have the same color as the body, as well as that X design in the lower bumper. When you go to the Peak Edition, it will be black, which kind of stands out a little bit more so. And those horizontal bars will also be black for the SEL R line. The panel moonroof is 4.5 feet long and 3 feet wide, which is longer and wider than the prior gen. Towing capacity, this is at 5,000 max. The Pathfinder will be the most at 6,000 pounds. You can also option an off-roadsy vehicle on all trims, even when you go into Kia, in which when you go to Kia, you go to Honda, you go to Nissan, they give you the aesthetics as well. Kia will increase the towing capacity. But one problem I have right off the bat with the Atlas, dropping the VR6, if you're not optioning the 4Motion, you still got 18 mpgs for the city. You got 24 mpgs for the highway, so you only lost 1 mpg. Yes, we've increased towing with this 4-cylinder variant, but the use of going this route, I think it would be better that they did a hybrid, which, I mean, let me know your thoughts on that, because that's what Toyota's doing. At least with Honda, Kia, Hyundai, they're still keeping the V6 alive. But then on the Pro side, this year they did do some updates, especially if you are going up to the SEL Premium R line. You're going to have more premium materials on the interior, like massage seats, as well as cushions for your headrest. So I think that's cool. And they have that styling for the exterior that makes it a little bit more unique. Standard LED taillights, it's a light bar. It integrates into the Volkswagen badging with the Atlas underneath it in the chrome. The lower gets dual exhaust finishers. They're fake tips. Here, I think the Peak Edition with the vertical setup instead of the rectangular look actually makes it look more athletic. Front and rear parking sensors start on the SE with technology, and for a 360-degree reverse camera, you have to go into the SEL Premium R line. Power liftgate going into 20.6 cubic feet of storage behind the third row. You'll have some storage nooks here, as well as underneath the floor. You have an area that you could put the privacy cover with a spare tire tucked underneath. So I like how they still utilize the storage capacity. A 12 volt is going to be right here, so it is going to be a little bit tighter, but you could fold down these seats at a 50-50 split. That will increase the cargo capacity to 55.5 cubic feet. Unfortunately, to maximize to the 96.6 cubic feet, you do have to come inside, pull this lever, and it'll fold down, increasing the cargo capacity to the Atlas. The key fob for the SEL Atlas. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver with 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger. It starts on this trim. Heated, ventilated front seats, leather seats, memory for the driver. And last year we got the refresh, which was well needed. So the dashboard, the touchscreen, the digital gauge reader, the center cluster, let's fire it up. Volkswagen is just bringing a ton of value with the Atlas, and it starts off with a heads-up display starting on this trim. 12-inch infotainment with navigation that starts on this trim. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wirelessly, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse. The only thing you're missing is that 360-degree reverse camera. You get full trajectory for the front and the rear, and you can change the camera layout. And you have voice recognition. Hey Volkswagen. And you have voice recognition. Hey Volkswagen. Turn down the climate control.
Okay, lowering now.
Dual climate control settings is in the front. It's a standard tri-climate control, so you'll still have one in the back. You can hit on these touchpad right here, or you can simply go through here. It's called Climatron, as well as the heated and ventilated seats. Everything now is touch derived. Slide the gloss black open to a standard wireless charging pad, 2 USB ports, more storage, a rocker that was implemented last year with the gloss black, an area that you can put the key fob or some more storage. It's going to be soft to touch. It opens up into a medium-sized pocket. The 23 model was a lot more deep, but you get another USB port as well as a full pass-through, which is something that is well needed, with the wood inlays for the dash and a digital gauge reader for the driver that can go through an array of different content, as well as changing out the configuration of the gauge cluster, including adding that navigation, which, if you remember, the 23 model, you couldn't have them on both screens. So that is definitely a plus. With the 3-spoke steering wheel multi-function, the paddle shifts, and you have another touchpad here. But a con to me is when you're trying to use it, it's so sensitive that you can literally touch the wrong button quickly. Leg space is going to be more than enough. You're not going to be sitting up as high as you would in Toyota, Hyundai, or Kia. Headroom is good, and the door panel gets the wood trim that integrates into the air vent and the dashboard with the perforated here on the side, contrast stitching, and it's soft to touch where it needs to be. One touch up and down for all the windows, with a wide and deep storage pocket, which takes me to the second reason why this is the way to go. When you go SEL, you get a lot of standard features: heads-up display, heated, ventilated front seats, power front seats, leather seats, the navigation. It's just a lot of value captured for a few $1,000s more. To go into the second row, that's the opening that you have to fit 3 more. Or fold this down, you got cup holders with an armrest for 2 more. Third climate control, heated rear seats start in this trim with a home plug, 2 USB ports, storage behind both of the front seats, air vents, and the large panel comes into the second row. The SEL with technology starts the manual sunshade for the rear. You get the wood inlays. It's soft to touch everywhere. The grab handle can be an area for a smartphone. You have another storage pocket for some chips, and you got another storage pocket that you can fit your lunch, dinner, or even a drink. Look at the leg space. You can have a ton. You can also adjust this forward where I couldn't fit, and you can adjust it back so I can fit, as well as headroom. I mean, this is why it is one of those vehicles that's just awesome. And sliding into the center, leg space, you have your own if you want to sit kind of uncomfortable, or you could just share. The rails are pushed up enough, but leg and shoulder space isn't an issue. I've actually adjusted this seat so that way you can see. You actually have your own seat in the center. That's how wide it is, as well as plenty of headroom. For the third row, pull this lever here, and it's going to slide forward to fit 2 more occupants back here with cup holders, a little storage, air vents, LED interior lights, 2 USB ports with a larger storage nook and a storage pocket with cup holders. The nice thing about the Atlas is when you fold these seats back, look at this. I can actually fit back here. I know I'm going to be spreading my legs, but look at the width that you have, because you're only fitting 2, and look at that headroom. The SEL 4Motion Atlas. Why is this a sweet spot? Well, you're under 50 grand still. All trims out of the 5 is all receiving 269 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. But when you go this trim, you're getting leather in the interior, a heads-up display, upgraded wheels opposed to the SE with technology for the Peak Edition that drops it to an 18-inch wheel. You get navigation. It's a smooth drive, and when you're trying to capture all of this, meaning full LEDs on the exterior, the upgraded wheels, the towing capacity, and 4Motion, usually it's going to be more than 50 grand going into anybody that is competition. But that will take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, in order to get the features, you have to go up into trims. They don't have options, which it would be nice if they did carry some options in, I would say, the Peak Edition, or even in the base trim, because I wouldn't mind spending a couple grand here and there getting the SE, because you're getting standard wireless charging pad, standard third climate control with the digital gauge reader and this 12-inch infotainment screen. It does come out of the dash, so that's a con to me, but there's just a lot of value when you go into the Atlas, especially for the third row, because head and leg room is the best in class. The sound deadening could be a little bit better. Maneuverability, the steering feels light. It does feel heavy whenever you are kind of coasting, but when you're mashing on the gas, it's not bad. Turn radius at a stop point, probably gonna be about 2 and apart to near 3 lanes. It's actually 2 lanes, not bad. Let's rock and roll. So you can see the turbo lag. I would say it really kicks in more so at a higher note, 2.5 to near 3 RPMs, and then the vehicle is kind of lively. As for braking, it doesn't feel too heavy. The seat comfort is good. They're wide, they're actually long, so my knees are not sitting up into the air. There isn't any cushion extensions, but I like that if you go into the SEL Premium R-Line this year, you're getting massage seats in the front as well as cushions for your headrest, so it's going to be a lot more luxurious. It's a few grand more, but then you're in a 50 grand price point. So that's why I'm trying to stress the third reason why this is the way to go is you're not going to get all of this value under 50 grand to any vehicle you compare to. Going to Honda, it's going to be over that. Going to Toyota, the same thing, as well as Kia and Hyundai. They do a great job with the aesthetics and the interior, but here it's going to be a little bit more comfortable for the driver because of the way the seat set is. I'm not sitting so high up like the Palisade or the Telluride, and even Toyota. The seat is not necessarily awkward, it just feels like it's higher up. You get used to it, but this you kind of sit downwards a little bit. The only con I would say is it doesn't contour to your back, but you have lumbar support, which is also a pro because you're still under 50 grand. I mean, let me know your thoughts on that. Eco mode, car feels like it's gonna die. Put it into comfort, feel the lag. Sport mode kind of unlocks it and makes it a little bit more lively. So I would suggest that you stay in comfort or sport mode so you don't feel the lag in the turbo. It just kind of livens up a lot more, so making it easier for you to maneuver in and out of lanes because the steering is light. It is a long vehicle, it is a wide vehicle, but if you are in sport mode, you can maneuver without too many issues opposed to the other driving modes. Visibility is good even though you don't have 7 inches of clearance, which is a con to me because it's an SUV. In anything this size, I would like to typically see about 8 inches of clearance, especially if I'm going into the Peak Edition. But overall value, like I've been saying throughout the whole review, you're not going to capture what the Atlas gives you in leg space for the third row, second row, as well as head space, storage nooks, and standard amenities, as well as charging ports throughout the interior compared to any competition. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise website and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Volkswagen of Newport Richey for giving us this 2025 Volkswagen Atlas SEL for our car review.